Greetings, dear viewers, and welcome to the 7th episode of this Starcraft 2 Newbie Guide. So in the previous episode, we started versus AI, and we played through our placement matches and got placed at the far end of the fourth bar here, so at the more difficult end of the hard difficulty. And we're going to play some more versus AI matches today to try and fill this bar up a little bit more. But before we get into that, I want to show you an option that by this point you may prefer or not prefer, it is an option, to switch off, that is probably turned on for you at this current point. So if you hit F10 here, you'll be given the menu and you can go to your options. Now here in options, under gameplay, you'll probably see the graphics tab first, but under gameplay, if you click on that, there's an option here to enable the simple command card. It says enable simple command card right there, which enables a more simplified view of the command card, as you might expect. So if we uncheck that, and just so you know, the command card is the spot in the lower right where you have all of the buttons that you can access to give all the commands and builds and all sorts of things for all the units and structures that you click. That's the command card down in the lower right. So by default, it's probably turned on. I'm not 100% certain on that because Starcraft 2 has been installed on my PC for a while, so I'm not sure if this is a default option anymore. And I don't remember when I uninstalled and reinstalled this. So anyway, it may or may not be turned on at this point for you. If it's off, cool. You don't really need to turn it on if you don't want to. But if it is on, maybe consider turning it off at this point, because there are a few things that are sort of hidden behind the simple command card that you don't really have access to until you turn this off, or that you're not really aware of until you turn this off. And there is at least one concept that I want to cover today, something very small but fairly useful, where I can better illustrate it with the normal command card up. So I'm turning this option off, and again, you can choose to or choose not to, depending on how you view the command card and how you use it. Alright, so anyway, I'm going to hit accept. I'm going to hit return to game, and we're going to get playing. I'm going to keep playing as Zerg, but throughout the videos that I've been releasing in the comments, requests to play as Terran or Protoss are kind of building up there. Oh, apparently we're playing on a map called Olrina here. Requests to play as Terran and Protoss are kind of becoming a little bit more popular. I guess that's because a lot of players... Let me go ahead and get everything started. Oh, looks like the opponent... I've never played on this map, I don't think. The opponent is directly above me, but it looks like we don't have a straight path to get there. Looks like you've kind of got to go around the map. This is an awkward map, in my opinion. Anyway, what I'm saying is that at some point in the future, I may very well start playing as Terran and Protoss. I'll figure out a way to do that. Maybe I'll play some custom games or something. But yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Well, I'm gonna get my overlords scouting in some directions over here. I'm gonna wait for enough minerals for a spawning pool. Get that building. So now if I select a drone on the map here, let's get that overlord out. There we go. Make some more drones. If I select a drone, you can see we don't have the simple command card anymore. And one thing I wanted to show you is the return cargo button. Whenever a drone is returning cargo, you can see the return cargo button appears just briefly while they still have something in their claws. Return cargo right there. Yeah, that's pretty useful to know. That's a pretty useful command that you can make use of, and I'll show you how to make use of that very shortly here. But first, I want to get everything running. Let's go ahead and get an extractor ready. Get another drone on the field here. And basically it's an easy way to get your drones to harvest gas without losing any minerals. You know, I'm going to get more drones out before I build any military. I want to see what my opponent is doing first. Oh, it's a Protoss opponent. Okay, let's get in here and let's see what they're making. They're just finishing their gateway. Let's go ahead and get an expansion up. Now, they don't have a cybernetics core yet. There it is right there. So they're not going to be able to attack this overlord anytime soon. But I do still want to get it to clear the base. Get out of there. Alright, so if I select 3 drones. There we go. We have 3 drones selected exactly. And if I right-click on this extractor, you'll see that one of these drones still has minerals, right? So you don't want to lose those minerals. Let's say they're mining. So if I right-click and then press C to return cargo, this drone with minerals automatically goes back, returns the cargo, and then on his own goes over to harvest gas from the extractor. So basically you just select drones, and I'll go ahead and do this again right here because I need to get harvesting gas anyway. You know what, I really need to pick up the pace a little bit because I'm spending a lot of time explaining things. And these harder difficulties, they aren't really they're not really pushovers anymore, so we're gonna make sure we get things going correctly. But you'll see me do the whole press C thing again as soon as this hatchery comes up. Let's get a roach warren down just so we can get some units out. Alright, so I'm gonna select 3 drones, right click C. See that? All three of them returned their minerals and then went straight to gas. It's pretty easy. Just right-click C. Just like that. Alright, so Protoss have some stalkers out. I'm gonna get this Overlord somewhere safe. Well, let's make a couple more Overlords just in case something happens. And I'm getting my Overlords out on the map here. Alright, so we've got a... Oh, we didn't even get a Queen, did we? All this commentary and explanation is not really working out for me. So to make sure I'm safe, I'm actually going to put up some spine crawlers just to make up for the fact that I'm commentating. Wouldn't normally have to do that, but you know what? It's an option. It is adapting. Alright, so we've got metabolic boosts that we can train up, and we need to get a lair going. Oh, that's a pneumatized carapace. Oh, I need this queen to finish before I can get a lair. Alright, let's just get some drones up. I've fallen quite a bit behind explaining the whole extractor thing, but I feel like that's something that's very useful to teach, or very useful for new players to know, so I really don't regret that at all. I'm going to train up a second queen right here, too. Get some drones going. Let's get another Overlord out. Oh man, I don't even have enough minerals to do what I'm looking for here. Here we go. Okay, so a probe came to scout. I've got enough military. I've got some defenses here. This is pretty good. I feel like I'm doing alright. I need to build up some more economy, though. Again, because I have fallen behind, so we're going to be playing a mid-game strategy. Out of necessity, really. Also because I felt like playing a mid-game kind of game.
We require more minerals.
I'm gonna get another... No, I actually don't need another hatchery. I don't need another hatchery. Let's just go ahead and get... Let's just go ahead and get our economy working. Get a ton of drones here. You know what? Just to be extra safe, put down another spine crawler. Let's get my Zerglings moving out. They should be getting metabolic boost fairly soon. Yeah, there we go. They're pretty good for scouting. Looks like I can run straight up to my opponent's base here. This is kind of crazy. I'm going to leave one behind right here on the watchtower. Train up some more drones while I'm scouting. Alright, so they don't have an expansion yet. They've got a little bit of a force. They're probably going to use this. We can probably hold them back a little. Prevent them from attacking by keeping Zerglings in their base. And while I'm managing these Zerglings, I am building more Overlords, I'm building more drones, I got roaches building. We don't want them to move out of their base right now, that we don't. Alright, we gotta get these Zerglings out of here, though. Okay. So we got 3 drones that we don't need here. We're gonna move them off in this direction, make them turn into extractors. Got a couple of roaches here, we got some Overlords ready. Gotta keep the larvae spawning. Looks like we've got a fairly easy second expansion that we can get here, so let's go ahead and pick up this expansion. And now I can finally get that lair I've been wanting to get, so let's pick up that lair. I think at this point we're ahead, though. This is the hard AI still, so we're not really in too much trouble. At least not for someone who's got as much experience in this game, or, you know, who's played as much as I have. I think we're actually doing pretty well at this point. We could probably go win the game right now because our macro is just that good. So if you're actually, well, I'm not trying to brag or anything like that, but I mean versus this AI, our macro is just working out for us here. Alright, so here comes that attack I've been anticipating. But we've got spine crawlers, we've got roaches, we got Zerglings just now hatching. So we're going to fend off this attack force. Oh, we got to get our Overlords away from there. We're not even going to use our spine crawlers here because we can't really. Okay, the enemy has to pull back. We're chasing them away. Okay, not bad, not bad.
Our forces are under attack.
There we go. So they have to stop and defend their base. Looks like they're still in a little bit of trouble. I'm gonna pull this roach back, and pull this roach back, and now pull this roach back. I'm trying to save them here from taking too much damage. Oh, it looks like they've got some reinforcements, so we're gonna get out of here if we can. I want to spread the creep toward the opponent's base this time, because it's fairly easy to keep these bases nice and well interconnected. Let's get a bunch more roaches. We got a ton of roaches training right now. We can see all these eggs here. And I've already added them to the one control group. So we've got these 2 roaches and then all these eggs that are about to hatch into more roaches. But yeah, we can take this game. So we're going to take this game down. My goal, really, at this point, is to... wait, who's under attack? Where? Oh, they're attacking my Overlord, who barely survived. My goal at this point is to clear out these games, get to the harder difficulties, to the point where you can see me in more even matches, and eventually I'll fill up that AI bar, and then we can get on to facing actual players. And that's where things get, obviously, much tougher. So we're going to keep moving here. We got another queen. Get some more larvae spawning here. Pick up some more zerglings, get them moving in this direction. Attack with just my roaches. They don't have a lot of damage behind them, but we've got a large number of them. So anyway, I was starting an idea earlier. I said if you're losing a lot of your matches, a lot of the times, and this is something that some advice that I got from my buddy Diggity, actually, who is really one of the veterans, one of the OGs, one of the original, not only StarCrafters, but YouTubers in the world. Guy deserves a lot more credit than he ever got when it came to YouTubing and StarCraft and stuff like that. He really is one of the people who brought StarCraft to a Western audience. There was a small group of individuals in a group called SC2GG, as well as a few others, I believe, who were doing Brood War commentary a while back, when it was mostly just a Korean thing. Get these zerglings in here. When it was mostly just a Korean thing, he and Moletrap and Rise and Cholera and especially Klazart. Klazart was a legend, man. Not to say that Diggity and the others weren't, but Klazart, I think he's the one that I first encountered. Klazart was amazing. But so was Diggity. Anyway, I'll put a link to his channel in the video description. He's not very active anymore. He has since moved on from doing the whole YouTube thing. This was years ago, before people were even doing YouTube, before monetizing on YouTube was even a dream. I don't know if necessarily that's the case, but it was quite a while back. Anyway, I loved StarCraft before I encountered those videos, so to see them commentated like that was just amazing to me, and really StarCraft for a Western audience. GG, AI hard. So really, StarCraft for a Western audience was, they pioneered it, man. Anyway, the advice that Diggity gave me one time, in a Skype call, a while back, I'm gonna say, yeah, quite a while back, whenever I myself was playing StarCraft and learning it, or StarCraft 2 and learning it, and, you know, trying to climb up the ladder and things, is that whenever you're losing, and he didn't really phrase it this way, but it's, you know, it's the message that I got. If you're losing a lot and you're trying to figure out how to climb up the ladder and progress your game, it's often a macro problem. And those are the words that he put out there. It's often a macro problem, or it's often something to do with macro. And what that means is your macro management, your ability to make buildings and just pump out units. And it was true. It was very true. So that's the advice that I want to pass on to you guys at this stage in the tutorial, is that if you're finding yourself struggling a little bit, focus not on things like build orders or unit counters. Okay, well, before we go into that, congratulations! Your performance has qualified you to play against a more difficult AI. Alright, so we got to the harder difficulty there. And here's the score screen. Alright, we're not even going to worry too much about this kind of stuff. Although it is nice to see that little star under performance. It says you did better than your average. Which basically means I spent less time supply capped this game than I do in my average games. 47 seconds total I spent supply capped. So basically I took better care of keeping my Overlord count up than I usually do. So that's actually pretty cool to see. Oh, also same thing for workers created and actions per minute, which is 8 p.m. Anyway, we're going to close this out. We're going to start the next game. We went halfway through the harder bar. Let's go ahead. Now that we're playing against harder, let's try and keep our game a little bit more on the tighter side. Anyway, playing against a random opponent on Scion Terraces. This is a 2-player map. We know exactly where our opponent is going to be. That's pretty good. Let's get things going real quick. Get this Overlord moving out here. Get another drone. And then we wait for 200 for a spawning pool. So let's wait for that.
We require more minerals.
Like I said, I want to keep things a little bit on the tighter side. Let's get some early gas. I want to get some... Again, since we know where our opponent is, I want to go for a little bit more of an aggressive build, trying to beat this, maybe get to the more difficult AI that much faster. A couple more drones here. And let's get 3 of them on gas. Wait for this to finish so I can get my queen. Actually, I'm going to need an overlord, aren't I? I don't think I started an overlord until a little too late. You know what? I'm going to say that's fine. And just to make some production, I am going to turn this drone into a spine crawler. Get another drone. There's the overlord. Alright. So that's good. Gonna wait for 100 gas so that I can pick up metabolic boost. And don't worry, I'll get back to the diggity thing shortly. Just want to get this game rolling properly. There we go. And since we're going to have metabolic boost zerglings soon, let's get 3 zerglings out. Which is 3 pairs of zerglings, actually. You know what? I might want another. Let's wait for the next larva and get a 4th pair. Let's get 8 zerglings up and running. That way we can scout and put pressure on any expansions or anything like that pretty quickly. There's my queen. This is a much more tight build order. Not the tightest, because, you know, the tightest build order wouldn't have a spine crawler this early. But yeah. More zerglings, really. Maybe drop a roach horn as well. So we've skimped a lot on economy here in order for building up our tech. But we do have a little bit of an early advantage here. We've got some zerglings, so we're going to send those out. Let metabolic boost finish up. There's the other 2. Oh, actually, we got some more of them there. There we go. Let's get these zerglings moving out here. Let them all group up, set the rally point properly. Queen in there, and now let's get drones going. Oops. Well, apparently we need overlords. Okay, so we got another Protoss opponent. Got their cybernetics core up already, and they've got 2 gateways. That's kind of scary. Looks like they might be going for a bit of a rush too. Again, this is the harder AI. So that's something for us to consider. Alright, so we got some zerglings here. We can move up. Maybe put some pressure on them. Here are the ramps. Get those drones building. Alright, here's some early pressure. We're going to attack these zealots. Get my zerglings surrounding all of them. But man, zealots do such a good job against zerglings. There are 3 zealots. We're able to take out 7 of our zerglings pretty easily, so we're going to have to pull back here. Looks like they're probably going to be going for an earlier attack. I'm going to keep building up drones in this case, though. And just keep getting some more minerals. I'm going to pull 1 drone off of gas. We're going to have 2 on gas right now, just a little bit of extra minerals to help me out. We're going to mutate into a lair so I can start upgrading my roaches, because I want to build some roaches fairly soon here. Actually, since we're 3 drones inefficient right now, I'm going to take a couple of them and turn them into spine crawlers just to make sure I'm fairly well defended. Where's the ramp to my base? There it is. So we kind of want to move our spine crawler over here, don't we? Let's get an extractor here. I want to build another queen, but I can't because I'm getting a lair. Alright, so I feel a little bit pressured to build more army, so let's go ahead and get some roaches out. There we go, group 1 right there. And get another pair of zerglings. We're approaching our supply limit right now. And again, yeah, I haven't forgot about the diggity thing. Probably cover it after this game. Okay, let's get this moving up here. There we go. They're finished, so we can get some upgrades for our roaches. And I want to also get an evolution chamber. And it's time to start focusing a little bit more on gas, so let's get that, get a couple more drones. Get another one right here. We don't want to get too much gas to start. We've seen how that works out. Little concerned that the opponent is going to start moving up toward us, so I'm going to get some overlords moving toward their path where they would move out. Get a few more overlords out here, just preemptively. They may actually be trying to expand at this point. So let's move out. Let's find out what they're doing. Here they come. Let's pull back to these spine crawlers. Good thing we built those, because we're about to need them. There we go. Let's move this roach to the back because he's damaged. Let's get the queen helping out here. This is a lot of pressure they are applying right now. So that's the harder AI for you. More aggressive. 2-player map. Chose for an early attack. Alright, so since I've fended that off, it's probably a good idea for me to expand now. Get a jump on the economic advantage. Get another queen. It's time to get a Hydralisk den too. Roach Hydra is one of the simpler builds. And since we're a little bit behind now because they're still being aggressive, I want to go for a simpler build. So we're gonna get our Hydralisk in. We have this. We have our evolution chamber here, so we're gonna start upgrading missile attacks. We want to keep trying to spend our resources as much as we can.
We require more minerals.
And we're running out of minerals here at our main base already, so that's kind of rough, isn't it? Yeah. It's a little bit on the rough side. Get another queen building. Get another queen building. There we go. So our Hydralisk then is complete. Let's go ahead and upgrade muscular augments as soon as we get the chance. As soon as we get enough minerals and gas for it. I still want to see what they're doing. Looks like they're not expanding just yet, but I don't think that's their natural expansion. So let's move an Overlord toward their natural expansion and start taking a look at that sort of thing. It's a good idea to keep an eye on what the enemy is doing so you know how to react. Alright, so here come the muscular augments. Man, they just keep building up that attack force, don't they? Okay, if we lost an Overlord, let's replace it with 2. I didn't get a chance to see if they were actually expanding there, but they have their forces in a forward position, so that's a little bit telling, isn't it? Alright, so this ramp is what we need to protect now, so let's get these spine crawlers moving down here. They move very slow off creep, just like this queen does. A little concerned that they're going to be moving up now. Get a queen here. And let's transfer a large amount of these drones over to this expansion. And let's make some more drones. I really want to get a view of what they're doing out here. One thing to do to scout is I'm going to upgrade pneumatized carapace for my overlords. This drastically increases their movement speed, and I'm going to combine this with a mutation later to make it so that I can easily scout, because I really need some scouting information. I don't know what my opponent is up to. All I'm trying to do right now is not fall behind, or not fall more behind. That early pressure actually did a good job for them. Alright, looks like we can spread some creep now, because we got this third queen. Intentionally leaving only 8 drones here so that this mines out a little bit slower, while this one, which is more mineral rich, continues to mine. But we're going to get more drones, get them out there so that our economy is pumping strongly before we continue to work on Hydralisks and things like that. Let's get another upgrade. Let's get ground carapace level 1. And you know what? I'm not really comfortable with the number of defenses that we have right now. So I'm going to place this. And we're probably going to need some Hydras at some point. Alright, so Metamorphosis is complete. I think that was Pneumatized Carapace. That was Pneumatized Carapace. I'm going to select this Overlord and hit Morph to Overseer. And I'm going to set that Overseer to Control 0, or my back mouse button. Now we're going to see how fast... Look how fast Overlords move now. They move a lot faster with Pneumatized Carapace. Makes them great for scouting. But as Overseers, they're even better for scouting, because they're a lot faster. And I can drop a Changeling right here with this Overseer and move him around freely in the Protoss base so I can see what's going on. They're building robotics facilities and stargates. Okay. Let's pull these back. Get this queen working here. So they're building air units and robot units, or robo units, I guess we could say. Man, they really pressed a very hard offensive here. I'm going to warp this one into an Overseer as well. Let's take our current Overseer and go see where their bases are, if they've got any more bases. Alright, so we gotta get these working, and I want to expand again. I think the good idea is to expand right here. Even though it's more forward, there are a lot of resources there. We're going to have to make enough drones to take advantage of those resources, however. So there is that. We're going to get some drones working over here because they're not 100% efficient just yet. And because they're getting some more advanced units, we need to get advanced units as well, so I'm going to pick up flyers. Alright, so they do have an expansion right here. We need to go hit that. I don't have the military to hit that right now, though. So I'm going to train up a couple of overlords. And I want to get some flyers out. Even though we've been upgrading ground units, I want to get some flyers out. Let's go ahead and get some more ground units on the ground. I also need a macro hatch because I don't have enough hatcheries right now. Well, this one should work just fine. I don't have enough hatcheries right now to support my economy with the right number of larvae. So there's that. But we are going to need tons of gas later, so I'm going to get them mining gas right now. And I'd like to upgrade to a hive at this point, but we need an infestation pit for that. So I'm going to build an infestation pit. And I am very worried about aerial attacks now, so I'm going to start building spore crawlers around my bases. And get a ton of drones to replenish that. Get them moving out here. Alright, let's get some hydralisks up. I don't want to fall prey to another attack. I don't have a lot of defenses right now. That would really suck. Looks like they're expanding again. Yeah, the harder AI is actually playing a lot more toughly. So there's that. I think we should still be able to win this one, though. We got too many drones right here. There we go. Alright, so now we have our Mutalisks, and I'd like to see what they're actually building. Let's get some more Hydras out.
We require more minerals.
There we go. There we go. Not looking too bad now. Get some more Overlords out here. Let's grab our Overseer. They're moving fast, man. They are moving very fast. Want another expansion just to stay ahead of them here. And I'm going to need lots of drones. Need more drones than what we got. We don't have very many whatsoever at this point. We're actually very far behind. I want to try and hit this expansion. Can't sit in base forever. Add this to the queue there. Get another queen. There we go. Maybe we can hit this really quickly. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's way too big an army for me to handle right now. Okay, so basically we're stuck on the back foot. We're stuck defending at this particular point, and I'm fine with that.
Our forces are under attack.
Gotta get this queen out here. Wait, where are our forces under attack? Alright, so they took out one of my overseers. It's alright, we're gonna set this one here. I can drop a changeling and a changeling. Let's get these guys moving out here. And let's right-click one of these changelings on one of their units. That way we can keep track of their army movements. That's actually not too huge a force. I thought it was a lot bigger than it actually is. So there is that. Let's keep up building an army with what we have right now. Void Ray came out there. So it looks like they're moving their army towards us. Man, those changelings really work wonders for us, don't they? Let's hopefully get these Hydralisks to hatch before we have to defend. Well, it looks like we have to defend, so let's go ahead and get defending. Get this queen fighting, too. There we go. Let's get some Zerglings out, too, since they hatch quickly. Alright, now maybe we can station a... Let's get a hive built first. Maybe we can mount a counterattack. Let's get this expansion working for us. Get some more drones out. Get these guys working. Get a queen here for this. Vespine guys are exhausted. Alright, we're going to hit control and that F1 button to move some drones over here just so we don't have idle workers. So this is a counterattack that we're going to pursue here with our upgraded ground forces. Yeah, they're going for some really tough units. I know they have a carrier right there. But maybe we can deal some damage and keep them pushed back. Maybe we can focus down that carrier. Let's see our Hydralisks do that. Hopefully they'll do that before they all fall. Nope, they're down. Alright, so there's that. Okay. Let's keep this queen here, actually. Alright, so we're going to have a hive building. And I'm going to upgrade... One thing I'm going to do since they're building aerial units is I'm going to make Corruptors right now. Corruptors are a new unit that you guys probably haven't seen yet. If you're brand new and you've just been watching this, Corruptors are an anti-air aerial unit. Oh man, I need all my queens. I seem to have removed them from their appropriate control group there. Alright, so we need to get another changeling in here. Oh, they took him out immediately. Okay, so never mind that. Alright, so we got some Corruptors. They're anti-air aerial units. They're really good. They've got a caustic spray ability. We're going to get even more Corruptors now, actually, because they can also morph into very powerful anti-ground units, which are Broodlords. But to do that, we need a Greater Spire, and a Greater Spire requires a hive, which we already have, so we're going to morph that Greater Spire up right now. But we also want to make sure we can hold off whatever they send at us, so I'm going to train up more Roaches. So we have Roaches and Zerglings, and we have some anti-air units right here. So we should have enough to cover ground and air at this particular point if they stage an attack. So that's really good. And we've got some static defense to protect our base otherwise, so that's fun. Alright. Here we go. Here are my Corruptors. Once that Greater Spire finishes, here we go, we got our Roaches too, this is good. And let's get some Zerglings out. Spending a lot of time supply capped this game. So that's a problem.
Mineral field depleted.
Okay, our mineral field at our first base is depleted, but we're going to move over here. We've got a lot of minerals just kind of waiting here, which is fine. That's good. That means we can actually do something here. Alright, so we're going to send our corruptors in to take out this carrier, while the rest of our forces do the rest of the thing. Let's get some Hydralisks out, and some Zerglings out. Now, corruptors can still... Oh, actually, they can't do this anymore, can they? Oh yeah, that's a new ability from Legacy of the Void. Okay, well, let's pull our corruptors back since they can't attack these ground units. And let's wait patiently for the Greater Spire and for our ground units to come out and defend for us. Greater Spire should be finished. Let's go ahead and change a lot of these over into Broodlords. Here are some more Hydralisks. Let's get them fighting. Try and clear this up for us. Looks like they got some cloaked units there. Actually, it looks like there might be Dark Templar. So I need one of these Overlords to morph into an Overseer so that he can protect us from that. Looks like our Hydralisks are actually chasing the enemy units down. And I'm actually okay with that. Alright, so we're actually low on gas right now because, like I said, we were going to be spending a lot of it. That's what Broodlords and Corruptors do. So some of you were looking forward to seeing some more advanced units. Here are some more advanced units. We've got Broodlords and we've got Corruptors. So we're going to keep them basically all in the same group here. Take these. There we go. And let's move them. Actually, I'm going to make the Broodlords group 3. We're going to come attack this expansion over here. I'm also going to make a ton of Zerglings, because they only take minerals, and we got a lot of minerals. I do, however, need a lot more larvae. I'm having a difficult time keeping up with this game because there's a lot going on, and I'm having to commentate it. But that's, I mean, I'm not complaining about that whatsoever. That's just one of the challenges that I undertake when trying to take on this tutorial series. Alright, so our Broodlords are extremely long-range units that can attack, well, from extremely long range. They attack ground units, while the Corruptors attack air units. We need more of this kind of army, so I'm going to make more Corruptors. Now we're going to pull the Broodlords back here and get them continually attacking. I'm going to pull the Corruptors back as well until the Broodlords can clear out the ground units. They've got Tempests, which are very long-range air units as well. They're a good counter to Broodlords, actually. So we just need to get more units out right now. Alright, come on. We can make another attack. Let's keep them going. Let's keep harassing this base while we keep building up things. So we're still low on gas here. We need to expand again. It's that time. It's time to move up to a different expansion. Let's go ahead and take this. So our Broodlords are attacking from very long range. They're being hit from very long range from the Tempests too, though, so it's a little bit of a problem. But we are able to apply pressure this way. These are expensive units, so I'm being very careful not to lose too many of them. We got some more Corruptors over here, and we're going to morph a lot of them into Broodlords. Well, as many of them as we can, apparently. Okay. So we got a lot of Corruptors here. Should be okay. And I also want a ton of Zerglings, like I said. Keep doing that number. And we are not keeping up very well with our larvae. So let's do that. Let's keep up with our larvae. There we go. Alright, so I've got a ground force here of Zerglings and Hydralisks. Get some more Corruptors out there. I feel like I have too many Corruptors. We're going to need a queen for this hatchery, so let's go ahead and get this one moving out there while we build another one for this hatchery. We're probably going to want to move a bunch of these drones out to this location. We got plenty on gas here, plenty on gas here. These are all out, however. So that's a problem. Ah, we don't have anybody working on gas in this location. So let's get that working. And of course, keep up with the larvae if we can. Okay. Alright, so now we got more gas. Train up some more Broodlords. We're going to add these Broodlords. We're going to Alt-click them, Alt-Shift-click them over to group 3. That's where I have my Broodlords? Yeah, alright. So Broodlords are the slowest moving units that we have right now. Let me get them moving. And I'm going to right-click my Corruptors on the Broodlords. That way they follow them, because Corruptors move faster. There we go. Alright, so I want to attack this base again. And this time I'm going to bring my Overseer and my ground forces along so that we can hopefully get some work done here. We're going to move along. We're not going to attack this directly. We're going to move along and try and hit a more direct path. Mineral fields are getting depleted. We're going to select all of our idle workers and get them doing their thing. Alright. Moving my units slowly along here. We're going to attack this base from its flank and see what they can bring to defend. So these broodlings from these broodlords, they're infinite there. Oh, let's go ahead and pull my zerglings back. Let them do their thing. Okay, now my corruptors should be able to more than handle these tempests. Let's pull back a little bit, let my broodlords handle the groundwork. There we go, we should be fine now. This is a big Zerg overwhelming force, and we're going to actually morph some more broodlords in the heat of battle here. Alright, so this is going to deal a ton of damage to them. We're going to tramp as many Zerglings as we can with the eggs that we have available to us. Now, while this fight is going on... Hang on. While this fight is going on, we're going to be doing this whole number. I don't know, you do this. You do this. Alright, I just know I want larva spawning. I haven't done a very good job of keeping my queens organized this game, nor my drones or anything like that. But doing a good enough job, because apparently we're winning. We're able to overwhelm our forces, or overwhelm the enemy forces here, so that's good. I haven't upgraded my broodlords or anything like that. So we don't need very many more corruptors. So I'm actually morphing corruptors in the field right here. You can see their cocoons. I'm actually morphing corruptors in the field into broodlords as we need them. So these broodlords are actually launching little broodlings to the ground, and the broodlings, they have a limited duration, as you can see by those little gray bars that are depleting. They have a limited duration, but they deal damage when they hit, when they land. So they deal a lot of damage just by being launched down to the ground, and then they continue to attack. Sort of like Zerglings. You can see their surrounding structures and units and things like that. And the broodlords keep creating these units. And the broodlords are also extremely long range, so you can siege an enemy base with these broodlords. Notice I'm keeping my other units pretty far back, because the broodlords can deal a ton of damage to units and bases from very far away. The tempests posed a problem early on, but the corruptors, which are the anti-air units we had, were able to take care of the tempests and the void rays, which were the only real threats to these broodlords, which are one of the highest tier units you can have for Zerg. As you can tell, this is a longer match. And we fell behind pretty early on because the opponent was actually able to make a better early push than we were building up. So that's how come we ended up going to the late game here. Fortunately, we were able to adapt. And yeah, it was a little bit difficult for me to keep up with creep spread and putting out queens and keeping drones organized and things like that while I was commentating. But I feel like we were able to do a pretty good enough job here. Actually, we need to get our corruptors out here to stop this void ray. This void ray is actually hitting us right now. Corruptors are taking things out, though. There we go. Pull the corruptors back, turn more of them into broodlords. Turn them all into broodlords, apparently. We do also have a huge Zergling force somewhere, I thought. Whatever. We'll just train up more. Because we do have units still, we do still have Protoss structures and bases out on the map elsewhere. So we're going to get Zerglings and things like that spreading out. Little small forces moving out to take care of those. We don't really need to do much else. But I am going to start up another expansion. This game is pretty well won, so I'm not really too worried about keeping up with things like larva at this point. It's just a matter of getting the opponent to GG now. Alright, so here's this little ground force that we have of Zerglings that I just trained up, and they're going to move over here to this expansion, which should be mostly undefended, so the Zerglings should be able to handle that just fine. Meanwhile, the broodlords will move off in this direction and move on to this Protoss expansion. I'm going to take my Overseer, which I had... oh, look! This Overlord can actually see a little bit of space right here where these probes are working, so we're going to just move out here. Get a good look at that. Okay. I'm actually going to pull some of these broodlords off from the group and come and attack over here. Oh, no! Please, don't kill the Overseer. Okay, so these Brood Lords will be able to handle that. They actually have longer range than these photon cannons, so they can take out the photon cannons without too much worry. Oh, there's still some Void Rays out there.
Under attack. Mineral field depleted.
Actually, I think those Void Rays took out most of my Brood Lords without me noticing. Isn't that funny? Get some more Corruptors. Get some more Zerglings.
Our forces are under attack.
We could also build Hydralisks if we wanted to. We can get some Hydras. This game is proving to be a little bit more difficult to close out than I thought. Most actual human opponents would have GG'd by now. There it is. There's the GG from the harder AI. So we will say GG back and hit yes to accept their surrender vote. So in any case, and I think this is a pretty good game to illustrate Diggity's advice, even though I didn't execute it all that well, because again my attention was split between trying to play slow enough to explain things and commentate, but his advice was that if you're losing or if you're trying to ladder up, often for players it's a macro problem. So basically what I was trying to say is rather than focusing on things like unit counters or build orders or any of that stuff, just focus on making units of any kind. Sure, make a mix, like if you're playing Terran, make Marines and Marauders, and maybe Medivacs. Or if you're playing Protoss, then focus on things like Zealots and Stalkers. If you're playing Zerg, focus on things like Roaches, Hydras, or just even Zerglings and Roaches. Just some basic units to start out. When you're just starting to play StarCraft, focus on your macro game a lot of the time, because your micro, that's something that comes later, micromanagement being the ability to manage individual units in combat, macro management being your ability to produce units. So focus on your ability to produce units. Focus on your macro game. Again, that advice comes from Diggity. The ability to just put out units is probably the biggest thing to learn early on. Just the ability to make sure you have enough production facilities. So if you find you have a lot of minerals and gas, but you're not able to produce units quickly, then if you're Terran, make more barracks. If you're Zerg, make more larvae. If you're Protoss, make more gateways. That sort of thing. Just make sure you're able to put out a ton of units early on. So a lot of your games are going to end pretty quickly. Actually, you'll find early on if you're focusing a lot on your macro, because you're going to learn how to make an army. That's all you want to do, is you want to learn how to put units on the map. That's the most important thing. Doesn't matter what they are. They can be just purely Zealots, purely Marines, purely Zerglings. Just put units on the map, and as many of them as you can. That's going to get you through the easier difficulties here on this. Just your ability to macro up an army. That's probably what you should focus on. It should be the first thing that you really work on with your game, because that's going to get you through these earlier difficulties. Later on, you're going to find maybe that's not doing quite so well. It's going to get you pretty far, to be honest. Even in actual multiplayer against other players, the ability to just put out an army is extremely useful, and that should put you above a lot of other players. It should put your skill or put your ranking above a lot of other players. Just being able to put out units on the map, because a lot of people aren't focused on that. Their attention is split between, should I expand right now? What kind of upgrades should I get? What kind of units is my opponent getting? Where do I need to defend? Don't really worry too much about that yet. There will come a time where you're going to need to consider those things, but focus on your macro game. And again, that's the advice that I got from Diggity. He put it as, it's often a macro problem. It's usually a macro problem. Those are the words that he said, but with that, I was able to run with it and take it and use it in my actual ladder play. And since then, my play has improved quite a bit when it comes to StarCraft 2. Because I heard what he said about it being a macro thing, and I was like, you know what? Maybe that's something that I should focus on, just being able to put units out on the map. I was playing Zerg at the time, of course, because Zerg is my main race. And if I recall correctly, I was having trouble against Protoss players who would build a lot of Stalkers. I was having trouble with that. I was playing against other players. I think back then they didn't have training or versus AI. They didn't have maybe they had some of this, but it was much more difficult. And I was playing players anyway. I was learning as I went in multiplayer, in actual multiplayer. So it was a little bit of a tougher environment to learn how to play StarCraft. In any case, I was having trouble with that sort of thing. And I remember what really launched my game the first time I started jumping up rank after rank after rank, and that was learning how to fast expand as Zerg. And again, this is early on, when I was still fairly new at StarCraft 2, but whenever I mastered how to do a fast expansion, I started tearing down other players left and right, because players at my skill level, because the game does match you. Matchmaking in this game does match you against players of your skill level. So players of my skill level were all struggling just like I was in the early game. To get on their feet and keep things going and build an army and stuff like that. But when I learned how to fast expand, that gave me 2 hatcheries, that gave me 2 queens, that gave me the ability to put out a lot of zerglings, and my army was just bigger than the opponents. It didn't matter what they had. It didn't matter what I had. I just had more units, which was extremely important, because even if they build counters to what your units are, if you've got more of them, it's still extremely difficult for the opponent to take care of that. So that advice from Diggity actually helped me out a ton, because I was able to figure out how to fast expand. To be honest, I'm not really sure whether my ability to fast expand came first or the advice came first, but I do remember putting those 2 concepts together ultimately was one way for me to work on my game. So yeah, the advice that Diggity gave came in very, very handy, even if I was already fast expanding at that time. So anyway, I'll put a link to his channel in the video description. Again, he's one of the OGs in Starcraft and on YouTube in general. Truly one of the pioneers of all of this. In any case, I hope you guys enjoyed this particular set of games. Here I am at the higher end of harder at this point, and we're going to keep playing and keep moving on over here. In future games, I'll try and work a little bit better on my ability to commentate while playing. And yes, I am taking into consideration the possibility that I should play, and maybe that'll be the next video, that I should play and then do post-commentary, so that I can play at full speed to my full capacity, which I may need to do as I approach like Elite and stuff like that, so I can play, at my full capacity and still be able to clearly communicate everything that's going on the screen. I think separating the play from the commentary may be something that I need to necessarily do in future videos, but I'm not going to do that for every video. I do like the live commentary style, and I feel like it does a really good job in helping to illustrate a lot of things, but as we move on, I'm going to give that live commentary thing a try. So I realize I covered a lot of things in the later part of this video, so there's that. I'm going to go and close this out now. Again, link to Diggity's channel is in the video description. A link to the playlist here is in the video description for this series. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.